Alright, today I'm reviewing the Solar V1.7 SVART Plus. This is a super cool, modernly spec'd flying V guitar. It's all black, it's got the stainless steel frets, it has the Evertune bridge of course, locking tuners, all that jazz. Is this guitar any good, or is it just an impressive spec sheet? We're going to discuss this today. And by the way, I'm not sponsored by Solar or Ibanez or any brands shown in this video. So let's talk about the look and feel of this guitar. I'm typically a fan of 6-string Ibanez guitars the most. But I do love my Solars, especially when it comes to 7-string guitars. And I do gotta say, this is a very cool looking guitar, and you'll notice immediately these nice deep front bevels. They are extremely comfortable to play with. You can see there's no sharp edges to catch you on the arm anywhere. Of course, that also means because the bevels are so deep, you can see the back is completely flat, and there's no belly carve or anything like that. So I do find that when I'm playing it, it tends to, for me anyway, have the guitar more where you can't see the fretboard as much, but you can definitely see the side with these giant markers right here. So it's no big deal. You're not really going to be looking at the fretboard too much anyway, since there's no inlays aside from the completely blacked out Solar inlay right about the 12th fret. The 3-way switch down here is nice and satisfying to switch. Feels pretty sturdy. But something you might have seen actually when looking at the back is the output jack is right here on the lower or the bottom horn. And that doesn't feel good at all. That feels awful. It bumps you in the leg, the cable does. It's right where it wants to be. So you have to either kind of put it between your legs or strangely to the side of your leg. So that's a huge miss right there. I don't know what they were thinking. It's not so horrible that it makes you hate the guitar, but it does make you think. It's bearable, but it's weird. And then one more thing towards the bottom of the guitar, the tone potentiometer. It doesn't take barely any force to turn at all. It's super low friction, which is very odd because one, it's a push-pull, so you are going to accidentally turn it when you are reaching for that. But you also accidentally turn it somehow just playing the guitar too. I have to turn it up all the time. Nothing is loose. The potentiometer isn't loose. It isn't spinning in the socket, okay? It's just super easy to turn. And that is pretty odd too, a weird choice. Especially given with a metal guitar like this guitar probably will be played for metal by most people. I know that's what I use it for. You're not going to want that tone pot turned down. If I was going to play this guitar live, if I was playing live again, or if I wanted to do a stream and I was going to use this guitar, I would just tape the pot down. I would tape down the knob so it wouldn't move. Now let's talk about the playability of this guitar, and this is what really makes me like it. You'll notice these days a lot of the 7 strings, they have the 26.5-inch scale length, but this one has a 25.5-inch scale length. So compared to my other Solars that do have that 26.5-inch scale length, this one feels super easy to play because again, I'm used to 6-string guitars with this scale length. So switching between the 6-string and then to this, it's super easy. Now with this scale length, you might have problems intonating or keeping the lower string from pitch drifting. But that's where the Evertune comes in. That stops all those problems. No pitch drift, I've been able to successfully intonate it. I feel it's a pretty good combination. In terms of the bevels, we talked about them earlier, but they're nice and deep front bevels. Your picking hand has no problem getting to the bridge. It's very nice. And then the last thing I want to cover here is the neck. Now, I don't know why it is, but this Solar 7-string has the thinnest neck of all my Solar 7 strings. That's probably due to factory inconsistencies. That's probably it. But that makes this one the fastest playing of my 7s. The good news is all the profiles I've gotten on these guitars have been very playable. I've liked them. And I'm not just saying that because, again, I'm not sponsored. I typically reach for my A1.7 whenever I want to do some 7-string work. And before that, I'd always grab my T1.7. This may be related to that, or it might not be, but I've had to set up this 7 of all my 7s the most. The neck tends to move a little bit whenever there's temperature change, which is expected. It's not so bad that if you have to pick it up and play a song immediately, it'll still be playable, but I've had to adjust this one the most. And I've owned this guitar for about a year now. Now, how does this guitar sound? First, let's hear just all the pickup positions with distortion and clean tones. Alright, so it sounds pretty okay. Now I don't know if it's because of the scale length, the pickups, or maybe I'm just going crazy, but this guitar doesn't sound as clear or maybe as bright as my other Solar 7s. Of course the T1.7 I've got Fishmans in that, but the A1.7, it has the standard Solar pickups. These are the pluses. So let's compare these real quick. So that's the difference. Comment your thoughts down below. I'm planning on using this guitar for an upcoming cover. Maybe I'll change my mind at the last minute, who knows. So some overall thoughts on this. Would I buy this guitar again? I would not. And I think it's pretty obvious why. The output jack is really annoying. And when I'm in the groove playing, it isn't so bad. You almost forget about it. But whenever you put on the guitar, when you're playing standing up, it is just so bad. You're like, what? What were they thinking? It has to be a cost-saving measure or something to be putting the output jack down here and the controls are right here, so it's just a straight shot. That has to be it. Besides that, the tone pot being super low friction is not that great, but just change the pot, I guess. And then finally, would I recommend this guitar? I would recommend it if you don't mind the output jack location. If that's going to be a deal breaker for you, then look elsewhere. So there you have it. This has been the Solar V1.7. So what do you think? Do you have any other questions? Did I leave anything out that you'd like to know? Be sure to comment down below. This is YouTube, so be sure to do the YouTube things. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, print out every frame and mail it. And as always, peace.